wonder if I can makeshift something on here.
Usually when I use that dinky one that comes with it, you just put it on
a box.
Yeah, just sit on a book or something.
That's what I'm gonna do. Hold on.
A book. A book. A book. Oh.
A book. A book. A book. Oh. A fish. A fish. A fish. A fish. Oh. This Star Wars book is perfect. All right. We'll actually most likely do this from now on because it makes me enjoyables. There we go. A book, a book, a book. Oh.
Okay.
I think this mic's starting to get beat up. I might have to actually pull the trigger. Get a different
this
one.
New one. I'm very happy with this new one. I dig it a lot. It feels sturdier. I don't know. That wasn't a demonstration of its sturdiness. To get this mic, it's great. Do you hear that? I can tap on it. It's good.
Got a blue light on my chin now.
Rock out. This is pissing me off.
Pissed into me off. I don't even know if I'm going to try a background today.
Oh, you have to. You don't have a Star Wars shirt on, so now you have to do a background. That's just, of course. It's like you're not wearing all green. What the fuck?
I read up on it. I guess my computer that I have is not. It's an old computer, so it can't like run the shit properly. That's what I read up on.
Well, that's a bummer. That's on brand. It's okay. Let's go. Let's roll with it.
Look at the fucker. Look at that guy. I like how my hand is not intradescent. What the fuck? What?
What the fuck is this shit?
Hey, you guys. All right. Let me click record.
I have a list. Start recording and go. Run. Good day, Galaxy. Run.
Am I supposed to start now or what?
Oh, yeah. Whenever you're ready. I was
Anakin!
Recording. Anakin!
Record. Good day, Galaxy. Rogues Watching Podcast. Thank you guys for tuning in. We got a lot on the docket. I am Mopar.
I'm Commander Cody. May the 4th be with you, Mopar.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Congratulations are definitely in order. A lot of things. We have Star Wars news to talk about once again. You know, last episode we there wasn't much. We were going through like, you know, old legends and canon stuff and things they explain outside of the movies. It's been dry besides the Clone Wars. And if you're not watching the live stream with us, the virtual background and the green screen is never working properly. So hilarious stuff, Mopar. But yeah, we have a lot of stuff that dropped. Clone Wars is done, and we're going to get into all of it here on May the 4th.
Heavy spoiler episode for Clone Wars. We don't want to spoil anything for anybody who is not caught up. It just launched this morning, the last episode. Some big stuff, some heavy themes. But we'll keep the spoilers for a little later, but just a heads up. This is going to be a spoiler episode for that.
There's plenty to get into until we get there.
You want to start off with some gameage?
Let's do some gameage. Now, I've been playing the absolute shit out of Overwatch, so I haven't actually tried the new Battlefront update yet, but it is installed, and we are going to be jumping on Battlefront 2 right after the episode tonight. So I'm excited to try out Scarif and catch some of those new skins. You know, Kylo Ren with his hood, Emperor Palpatine skin, Maul with his new legs, Rey with her yellow lightsaber. There's a lot of new stuff in Battlefront.
Why can't they do fun stuff anymore?
Like adding new skins to a good Star Wars game?
You know, I was just thinking, like, and my mind goes retro, of course. But remember, and I know we've talked about this, but NBA Jam, you could play as like Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. You could play as Bill Clinton. Like, why not throw in just an Easter egg random, like play as fucking Frodo or something in Star Wars just for the fuck of it? Or, I don't know.
It'd be hilarious if they did that with Star Wars creators. Like if you could play as George Lucas
Yeah.
and like Kathleen Kennedy and Sam Witwer and Dave Filoni, and just Dave Filoni is just doing everybody on Scarif or something. That'd be
I don't
hilarious.
know. It's just, things used to be kind of quirky and kind of fun, and now
Yeah,
everything's taken so seriously that
done
sometimes,
so poorly.
I didn't want to say it.
I'm just joking.
I didn't want to say it. They did a lot of updates to the game. They made the game a lot better.
Yeah.
But there's a reason I'm playing KOTOR a fucking again. So
Hey, we've said it over and over again. This is just why EA needs to hire a Star Wars council of people to advise them on what to make in their games. We're here. I'll do it for free, EA. I'll work for free from home.
where's the writing? There's no story. Like the Fallen Order was fine. Actually, it was better than expected.
Fallen Order was really good story-wise.
But
Yeah.
the game itself, we've said there's no replay value. It's just like just the RPG aspect. You're missing out on a lot, and to apply an RPG aspect to Star Wars is just the fucking key to life. You can play. It really is. You can play in the Star Wars universe as whatever you want. Make the character your own, and that's like, guys, you're missing out. There's a reason why Fallout, Skyrim, all that stuff. Even if it launches and it's a failure, people are still buying Fallout 76 because why the fuck not?
Right. Yeah, it's very interesting, and we have learned. I'll actually pull it up, toss this up on the screen here for you guys to check out. But this is the final update for Battlefront 2. So this is the last drop of content that we're going to get. They'll still do bonus XP weekends and themes and stuff like that. But as far as new content and skins and maps, this is the last thing that we're getting. They are moving on completely to the next Battlefield game. The DICE team. So this is it. This is all we have.
Ooh, the next Battlefield game?
Yeah, everyone that was on the Battlefront team at DICE is focusing over there.
Just got instantly horny.
Yeah, I'm curious what they're going to do there. They've been in the older eras for a couple of years now.
Would it be ballsy enough to do some like Civil War? Would it be ballsy enough to do like Revolutionary War? Like I feel like the furthest back we ever go is World War I. Like,
and even
why?
then, like there aren't a lot of those.
Right. I just feel like if there was an American Civil War game, you know how fucking crazy that would be?
It would be crazy. I'd be curious at how they would do it. I think the big thing for me with multiplayer shooters is people like having different abilities and different guns, customization, different options and stuff. And I feel like that even felt a little hard to do in Battlefield 1. So I feel like the further back you go, you get more and more limited as to what you can add. So maybe that's why.
I mean, that's a very good point. It would have to simplify the characters down quite a bit and have a lot of options as far as characters. And what I mean by that, because you don't have any vehicles. You go back to Civil War, there's no tanks, there's no planes. It's just literally horses.
Just horses, yeah. Cavalry.
So, no, I get it. And you're limiting yourself. But if you did it right, it could be a fucking crazy experience. So,
yeah. So I don't think they've teased what the next Battlefield project is. So we have no clue.
Along the same lines, so while we're on the Battlefront train here, and I know we're going to get into a little more details, I have heard that not only are they, from you, that they're moving on to the Battlefield, but they have actually canceled the ideas of a Battlefront 3 and moved into a Jedi Fallen Order 2 instead.
Yes.
I don't know if that's confirmed. I saw an article suggesting that this morning. So
it is. Yeah, Battlefront 3 is not happening.
Good.
That's why a lot of people are a little dismayed about this being the last DLC drop. I mean, we've talked, on and on about the issues the game had. I feel like they've done a great job fixing things. It's still not perfect, but if there's not going to be a Star Wars shooter for another 3 years, I feel like the Star Wars game pool is just going to be dead, for a while. So I'm surprised that they're actually stopping.
No, it's a good point, and maybe, I don't know, maybe DICE is just like, look, we tried to work with you. We got to move on and make our own fucking money with our own games. We're tired of being pigeonholed to what EA has, or, even within the Star Wars universe, there's probably a lot of limitations to what you can do in the Star Wars universe nowadays, which is a good and a bad thing. That prevents a lot of like absolute trash from hitting the market because they do want, decent things, but there is a creativity hold, you know, if something
Yeah.
really good comes out and it seems good, but it
Sorry.
unfortunately overlaps with something that's canon, they have to shoot it down, which is unfortunate. So
Yeah, and there's issues with that um, across the entire franchise, I think. Issues with material being established in legends or in books or in comics that a bigger project comes along and it has to overwrite it and they have to redo things somehow. That was a complaint about things in Rise of Skywalker. I've heard a few things about the Ahsoka book conflicting with some of the Clone Wars content in these last few episodes. So I feel like that's just part of, you know, movies are at the top, and I would say series and cartoons are right below that, and then you have video games. Those have to override other things. Like, yeah,
what
maybe
about
there's a
novels?
throw. I would say novels are right under that because they're
At
obviously
last?
no, like third, and then you
Oh,
have
okay.
comic books, and then you have the young adult shit and what have you. But yeah, I mean, like they have to take priority over larger projects like that.
Yeah. I just no. You know,
I don't.
I
Tell me.
watched well when we watched Rise of Skywalker recently. We did the commentary for it. So if you guys have been keeping an eye out for that, that is live.
Yes.
Um and I have my reservations about episode 9. I'm happy with it. I think they took a huge risk in what they did, but at the same time, they didn't take a single risk at all. It's about a poor kid from a desert planet who doesn't know who her parents are and try to find out. And there's a big drop eventually in the trilogy of who her parents are or who Luke's parents are. I mean, they kept it quite fucking close to the cuff. And,
Yeah.
I think they did certain risky things with the dark side, having a clone of Palpy and bringing him back. And I thought that was pretty expanded universe-esque. But as far as just a hero's journey, they didn't even try. I don't know. I feel bad saying that. I enjoy it. I think Rey's a cool character,
I think they tried. Yeah, she had a lot
but
of struggle. She had a lot of redemption.
eh,
She found her
I
place at the end.
I'm not mad that she's powerful. That don't get me wrong. I just don't think she really really struggled with much. Like at least on screen, a lot of it was who am I? I'm trying to find my place in this universe or however she says it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, well, yeah, isn't every fucking buddy? Like I don't. I just don't. I don't know how well that plays out in the Star Wars universe. Look at every single Jedi ever made. I was
Well, all
stolen
right.
from my parents. I don't know who they are. I'm struggling with it. You're like, yes, I get it. Everybody
Yeah.
does. I don't know.
Well, let's look at it per trilogy. I mean, Anakin is the chosen one, and he can do anything, so he wasn't really challenged at all. I mean, his mom died, and he hates sand. Other
What?
than that, everything's.
He's the most conflicted person ever
I'm just
because he's
saying
not allowed to love.
until you get to Revenge of the Sith, like he wasn't challenged that much, was he? Like, oh, I can do all these things, and now I have to leave my mom behind.
In battle, I would say no, because he was naturally gifted in the Force, and from a certain point of view, he's the Jesus of the Force. Um, I think but that's not his downfall. Power was never an issue for Anakin. It was being twisted and manipulated, which was the downfall. Same as the
Yeah,
Jedi.
yeah.
Um,
I
you
think
know,
you just need to maybe reframe like what the struggle is for each main character, because then you get to Luke in the original trilogy, and like he's never flown an X-wing, and then he blows up the biggest battle station that Empire has ever had, that the galaxy has ever seen, that they took 25 years to build, and he just nails it.
yeah, I guess my quandary with the sequel trilogy is that Luke and Rey are so similar in their backgrounds. I get it. Anakin was an orphan per se from a desert planet too, but he has many different deep rooted issues. Trying to protect and save the ones he loves, and that being against the Jedi Order. Luke and Rey, I just feel like there's a little more happy dancing, which is weird because they're not as powerful as Anakin. I don't know.
It's physical happy dancing, but like emotional struggle, I would say, for the sequel trilogy. I think that's how you were saying they were playing things kind of close to the cuff. Like, yeah, in a certain way, it was safe. It is kind of mirroring the arc of the original trilogy. We obviously have original trilogy characters in there, so there's familiar Star Wars stuff that you know. It's safe in that regard. But the way that they were handling like Rey's emotions and how she's dealing with things, the dyad, her feelings for Kylo Ren and Ben, versus, trying to fight him and he's evil and she has to destroy him, like all that stuff. It's more of an internal thing.
Yeah, I guess what I'm trying to compare it to, I recently just played through KOTOR all the way through as the dark side. I literally, as I killed Malik, I went back in and started a brand new game and I'm doing light side.
Nice.
But that's that. It's just something about that story holds up. It's so brand new. It's so fresh. Even if you played it a million times, you can do it slightly different. I guess what I'm trying to get at is the Clone Wars episodes that just came out. Like, let's just say the last 4 or 5 of them were so good. We're so fucking good.
So good.
So heavy. There's a lot there. They didn't overdo it. It didn't seem outrageous, even within a cartoon realm.
Yeah.
The Mandalorian, so good, so epic, and they did it right. So when I look at like, what does KOTOR, Clone Wars, this season, and like the Mando have that maybe the sequel trilogy doesn't? Like, there's something that hits with me with those that I'll keep going back. And not that I'm not going to watch the sequel trilogy, and it makes it sound like I'm just shitting on it. But there is something that just it attracts me to those 3 things. And maybe it's storytelling, maybe it's, I don't know, the journey.
Main character's not a girl. That's what it is.
Very true.
Maybe it's just because it's so fresh. Maybe you just need to,
KOTOR's not fresh.
No, I'm talking about the sequel trilogy.
Yeah.
Maybe like a year from now, you might look back on the sequel trilogy in a different light and kind of hold it up there with the rest of those.
It's weird because, I always thought like the original trilogy was a very not simplified version of, because it's itself, it's a beginning, but it's a very simple story. Where when you go to the prequel trilogy, it's all over the place. The emotions are still there, but there's a lot that comes with it. And even Lucas admits, like, there's so much fucking going on. What did I do?
We may have overdone it this time.
We may have. There's just ass cheeks floating in the background. What are we doing here? But I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I just want to hear from our listeners what their thoughts are. And I'm not asking whether you liked or disliked the sequel trilogy. I'm just asking maybe help fulfill my thoughts and try to like explain what you think might be lacking, and or maybe prove me wrong. If you just say like, oh no, I love the sequel trilogy because of X, like, just fuck it, send it in and let us know. Hasn't been hitting it for me. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I understand. I totally understand. Star Wars in general, I wouldn't say it hasn't been hitting it, but I was kind of on I was just in a different zone. I was watching Lord of the Rings. I started reading Dark Tower again. I've been playing Overwatch. So Star Wars just hasn't been like top of mind until these last 4 episodes of the Clone Wars. And now I'm kicking things back into gear. Today's May 4th. We got 40 announcements from Star Wars that we're going to go over.
Which is nice, because I know
it just kind of goes in and out.
Past few years, even May the 4th has been pretty dry as far as news and everything. This year, it sounds like they loaded up and they decided this is actually going to be like a Star Wars holiday from now on.
Oh, yeah. And they kind of drip things out. So, like, here's a preview of what we're going to be talking about as we go through the show. But originally, they were like, Rise of Skywalker will be on Disney Plus on May 4th. And then they released this new documentary series. It's called Disney Gallery, going behind the scenes of the Mando. That comes out May 4th. And then the Clone Wars is going to have its finale on May 4th. And then today, with no warning at all, we got 2 big announcements from the film and the series standpoint. So yeah, they loaded everything up.
It is nice that we're starting to get film news. I know everything's been loaded up on Mando 2, Cassian coming out, Obi-Wan here and there's, and then Clone Wars obviously. But I was kind of feeling like a hole in my heart, guys, because Star Wars is movies to me. I love all the extra stuff, and I even just started shitting halfway on the movies and was explaining what I liked about the other stuff. But to get to it, Star Wars is the films for me. Whether it's standalones, which it's nice to say that the standalones I do really enjoy, and I do like that they've gone that far with it, to do just a one-off movie. But I do include those, absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. So we do still have nearly a 3-year wait until the first of the new round of Star Wars movies comes out. We don't know what it's going to be, and let me table that. Let's finish talking about video games first. So yeah, there's all the Battlefront stuff. We kind of tangented over It's not a word. Over
Tangent,
to
tangented.
some film discussion. The other video game update that came out today was an update for Fallen Order, which is pretty cool because we were kind of wondering, like, oh, you didn't see this?
No.
Oh, shit. Mopar about to get fucking breaking news on the goddamn thing.
Breaking news.
This just in. Hang on, please. Let me find the link. Pull it open. Yeah, an update with Fallen Order. I don't think there's any new missions or anything.
Mission
Garden. Yeah, so EA Star Wars writes Master of the Force like you've never done before. Combat challenges, fresh cosmetics, and more are coming to Jedi Fallen Order.
Whoa.
I don't know if this is out today, but watching this little trailer, it looks like there's a mode where you can pick just single challenges to do. There's new cosmetics, new robes, stuff for BD1, stuff for the ship. Here's these combat challenges you can see here on the screen.
Oh, there's different waves. That's kind of cool.
So if you ever remember playing Modern Warfare 2 and they had those Spec Ops missions, like separate missions, it's kind of like that. But for Fallen Order, you can make your own challenges. Just throw fucking everything in there. That's cool. And then there's, a new appearance, Inquisitor version of Cal Kestis, which looks fucking sweet. So that'll be cool. That was a surprise. We had no idea about that. Everyone, gaming-wise, was distracted. Oh, it looks like it's ready now. Was distracted with the Battlefront update and the end of Battlefront 2, so I wasn't even really thinking about that. And then, Fallen Order, they dropped a nice surprise. Here's a bunch of new shit.
Yeah.
That's always your segue. Like, come on, man, what you got to say? That'll at least encourage me to play it through one more time with those extra things. It will. I actually started re-downloading it earlier today for that exact purpose.
I was talking to Steve Dave, and
why would you do that? Why would you ever do that?
Well, he was kind of upset that you go throughout Fallen Order, and you get these like companions, but you never get to use them, and they're never with you. And he said even with the sister, what are they? Night Sister. Once she helps you out with one battle, and then that's kind of it. And you're like, I was just like, nah, yeah, I completely agree. I mean,
it's not an RPG though.
Well, it should be.
It's an action
and it kind of is.
Yeah, I don't know what the exact genre term is, but
it's like a limited RPG because by the time you get to the end of the game, everybody's character is the exact same, stats wise. I'm sorry, for the most part.
Yeah,
I mean, you have options as you go through the game, but by the end of the game, you've pretty much maxed out everything. So your character's going to be doing the same exact stuff.
Right.
And the lack of companions and, I mean, I don't care for how much I love visuals and how well everything's put together. I don't care what my character wears. Like the color of my lightsaber, sure, yeah, I like to fuck around with that a little bit, but I really don't. I want my character to react and beat someone in a different way because I've upgraded them that way or chose that style. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just an RPG person. That's my gripe. But
I agree.
Great game.
But to your point, a big thing about RPGs for me is the customization and making the character different. Because even though it's Cal Kestis the whole time, like there needs to be other ways to make it feel like my game versus someone else's game.
Exactly.
And cosmetics is a big thing for that. So I'll be excited to see what those look like, especially like the dark side Cal Kestis robes. That seems cool.
Or if there was something where you could be light side or dark side. Like
that was the biggest missed opportunity in my mind. Because now here's a spoiler. I hope you guys have played it. It's been 5 months. But when you get to the Inquisitor Fortress and you realize what's actually going on and you have to fight the second sister again, that would have been a perfect time to have a light side, dark side option. And if you choose dark side, like maybe there's dialogue throughout the game and characters that you meet earlier on that are kind of making you doubt the Jedi. Like maybe Order 66 was the right thing to do. And I don't know, maybe it leads you in this one direction. And then when you get to the Inquisitor Fortress, you switch sides. And then you're a dark side. And then you train with the second sister or with Darth Vader or something. And then you become an Inquisitor. And you start hunting down Jedi to help them out. Like that would have been fucking savage.
Wouldn't it be crazy? So like the light side playthrough, you fight the second sister at the end. The dark side playthrough, you fight Sierra at the end.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be have been like fucking crazy?
EA, I'm telling you, I can make my resume. I'll get it. I'll put it in PDF and I'll mail it to you with some Cheez-Its. Hire me.
Oh my god. Mopar knows best.net. Just send the link. Send it out. Yeah, and it's so simple because it's not like this is a new thing. And I don't even think it would be that difficult to do. But like Jedi Knight, we're talking 1997. You could upgrade your Kyle Katarn with dark side powers or light side powers. And in a cutscene halfway through the game, you could end up killing Jan, your own pilot, if you fell to the dark side, and it would change the outcome of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Such a small little thing, and you're like, oh my god, next time I want to play it all the way through and not kill her or kill her this time. It's like, let me get
Same with
fucking more.
KOTOR.
It's so cool. Yeah, exactly.
Same with the Mass Effect. Well, Mass Effect didn't change the actual ending too much, but still, you had choice. You had options.
but people die along the way, and you get different support or kill off fucking full genocide. Yep. So no,
I don't know what they're thinking. Yeah, I don't know. Not to shit on a good moment, but the update is cool. The fact that it was a surprise and it's free is awesome. I'm excited to jump back into the game and see what it has in there. But yeah, so that's Battlefront and that's Fallen Order. They done. Oh wait, we got one more gaming thing. Sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
I forgot. I haven't played this yet. I haven't had the chance to. But Vader Immortal, which is the Oculus virtual reality game, is going to be released for PlayStation VR in the summer.
Oh, so I thought that was like out.
It is, but it was only on the Oculus.
Oh, okay.
Or at one of those like virtual reality. It's not a store. What's the word? I don't even know what the word is.
Store. I don't know.
It's not a store though. It's like you go in to do the virtual reality like at the. I keep wanting to say store, but that's not what it is. But yeah, so it wasn't on like a regular console, so it'll be coming out on PlayStation VR later this year.
I also have extended gaming news for you fucks.
Oh yeah.
I saw something earlier today. 2004's Star Wars Battlefront gets its official online multiplayer back.
Oh fuck.
Yeah, so it looks
Wait,
like
for which consoles?
It says both with Steam and GOG versions. What's GOG?
No idea.
I'm assuming that means console.
Link me or share screen or link me this.
I'm looking at. Let me see if I can find it here.
Yeah. That'd be awesome if we can play on console together on Battlefront. That'd be a fucking savage. I'm surprised that they would do the first one and not the second one.
I think the second one's still active. Here it is.
Star Wars.
I clicked on the wrong motherfucking shit. Let's see. All right. Right here. So the other thing I was going to say is it looks like it's going to be cross-platform via crossplay. Both versions.
What is GOG though?
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck that means. But I guarantee you, if it hasn't been updated at all, the game's so clunky. I mean, it's a fun game, and I felt like it was somewhat of a breakthrough of a game, just to have mass warfare on a battlefield.
GOG is it's a different platform. It's like Steam.
Oh, okay. So never mind. Platform. You can only play it on Steam and GOG, I guess. But at least it's still an option if you want to run through the game and it's multiplayer.
Yeah. No, I mean that works now. I actually total tangent, but I downloaded an N64 emulator and got GoldenEye and just plugged my Xbox controller into my Mac. I was playing GoldenEye that way. So if the Battlefront thing is compatible with Mac, I can just load it up there and plug my controller in and go to town.
Nice. I'm not gonna lie, like that's fun to have the multiplayer back on, but I'll probably I'd probably play it for like an hour and then be kind of over it.
Yeah, the second one's the more versatile one, different options, and you got the hero modes and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, also you can get mods and everything with the PC ones, and like get fucking Qui-Gon Jinn in there and Revan and all that craziness. Kid Fisto. You know. You know, Kid Fisto, the squid one.
The squid guy with the.
Remember him?
He's a Jedi.
Do you remember him? You talking about him? I haven't rewatched the Mando yet, but I'm about to because I started that. I know. I started that Disney Gallery episode. It looks like it's going to come out one episode at a time. I don't know if that's going to be weekly or not, but it's called Disney Gallery. It's under the Star Wars section on Disney Plus. The first episode is about the directors of The Mandalorian. So it's Favreau and Filoni and everybody else kind of round table just chatting about the production and directing and style and writing and everything for the show. So it's cool. I love the documentaries and the behind the scenes stuff. I haven't had a chance to watch the one that came with Rise of Skywalker yet. I don't know if you've seen that one yet.
Mm-mm.
So I'll have to check that out too in the next few days. But cool shit. Good start.
I did want to. So as I was watching back through the Mandalorian, something really caught my eye, and it was Moff Gideon and his goddamn sweet ass folding TIE fighter.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna say Darksaber, but
no, fuck the Darksaber. You seen this folding ass thing?
Yeah, I saw it.
The Outland TIE fighter. You know, it's so weird that I noticed it the first time through, but I didn't really pay attention. There was so much shit going on. But the idea that it folds up like that, I read an article about it, and it was like almost like X-Fighter-esque, as like the S-foils fold. I'm like, oh my fucking god, they're like the same ship.
They learned from the rebellion.
I mean,
some of that technology to their shit.
And it's funny because they're obviously the TIE fighters are really goofy looking, especially like when they're just standing in a hangar or something. They're really weird because you got to like jump up into it. But with it folding down, it's so much more accessible, and it makes so much sense. It's a nice little.
Yeah, some regal ass Moff doesn't want to climb a ladder to get into his ship. He wants a red carpet rolled out and all that.
Yeah, fold the fucks, fold them.
Gideon's not fucking around.
Yeah. No, it's the stuff's great. I still to this minute am amazed that they went with the bold Yoda baby Yoda, man. I still cannot believe it.
Very surprising.
I wonder if they'll ever like really truly explain.
I assume season 2.
I mean, I do too, but what if they didn't? What if they're just like, look, there's more than one? Obviously, Yaddle was around. Why can't there be a child?
What I'm worried about is they back themselves into a corner, because if they don't explain anything, some of us are going to be cool with the mystery, but some people are going to be like, God damn it, you need to explain everything. And if they do explain it, I can guarantee you 50% of the people are going to say, that's a dumb explanation.
Yeah.
It's going to be, oh, it's Yoda's kid. Well, that's stupid.
Why does he have a kid?
Who did he bang? Just like Palpatine. Thank God he didn't bang anyone. You think Palpatine and Luke died virgins?
I don't have to ask Leia with Luke.
Because Anakin obviously didn't, but...
Yeah, that's what... Yeah.
I need Star Wars Explained to do a video on that, please. I need canon sources. I have to know. It's important to my fandom.
Whew, no comment on that. I don't know.
Those are usually the only things you comment on.
Might have to, I don't know. Luke Skywalker virgin, ?
Yeah, just pump that into Wikipedia and see what you get.
Just search Luke Skywalker on Pornhub. If something comes up, then he's not a virgin. Figured it out. Research.
All right.
What? So I was on a scary movie feeling binge. I only watched like two movies, but I watched The Descent.
What a binge you went on there, Mopar.
You know,
1.5 movies.
The issue is there's only specific times that I can watch a scary movie because Glass Armor doesn't like it. So like if I'm awake enough to start a movie, later in the night, it's like, yeah, let's fucking do it. But dog shit, man. It's all dog shit. I haven't seen a good scary movie for several years, I feel like.
Yeah, there's like 1% of horror movies are good.
Yeah. Like I said, I watched Descent. It was like a group of girls that went down into these like caverns, like I don't even know what you call it. Um,
Caverns,
yeah, but they're like
underwater
jumping
caves
down.
or something.
Yeah, water caves. What you know what I'm fucking talking
Cave
about?
diving.
Cave diving, jumping
Yeah,
down,
we did that in Mexico.
whole goings.
Yeah, it's called a cenote.
No, it's a jumping in ends. Um, but it was just a group of girls that went into a thing. They got in trouble, and then there was like goblins. It was
Was that the
fucking.
scary part? They got in trouble.
I'm not kidding. There
You
was
girls,
goblins.
goddamn, don't go down the cave.
That's my cave.
When you said they got in trouble, that's what I was picturing. Is that their parents yelled at them?
Getting into
Damn it.
trouble.
Damn it, girls.
Damn it. We told you, Tracinda. Why not?
Tristan. Well, that's a bummer. What's the other one that you watched?
I don't remember it was that bad.
No, the other movie that you watched.
I don't remember it was that bad. I
can't.
But I watched. Let's call it 95% of Descent. Like the girl was climbing out, and I just turned it off. And no joke, there was like Lord of the Rings goblins in this cave, and I'm like, oh my god, why am I watching this? Now, the one thing I will give to Descent, there were certain scenes that did like make me. I was like, fuck. Like they were trying. So they went down to this cave. They get stuck down there, and there's like all these real tight passages that they gotta like. Barely a human can fit through, and they're like squirming through to get to another other edge, and they're looking to get out somehow. But there was like a girl, she got stuck, and that already was like, oh my god, I'm not claustrophobic, but I felt it, and she thought she saw something behind her, so she's trying to hurry up, and she started like freaking out, got stuck, and just the scene how they filmed it. It was really good, man. That was the scariest part of it. The enemy was dog shit, but the stress of like getting through it, and then rocks started to shift, and I'm like, run, girl, run! Like, get the fuck out! Like, what are you doing? She's trying to drag her fucking bungalow and her bowling ball through the fucking hole, and I'm like, just go!
Drop everything and run.
Yeah. Oh my god. But it's nice to have like some of those stressful scenes. It makes you like feel something. You're like, dude, run, girl. But then the enemies show up, and you're like, oh, this crap again.
They must have just reused props from Lord of the Rings.
It's no joke. If it reminded me of like Falmar from Skyrim, like they were like looked blind, and you could like stand right in front of them, but if they smelled you, you were fucked, and you're like, what the? I don't know.
So it's a mix of Skyrim and Lord of the Rings and A Quiet Place.
Yeah, in a hole.
27 days.
Bunch of holes.
427 hours, something like that. Whatever that movie is.
16 weeks.
We rented Ford vs Ferrari, and I watched that on Saturday night, Sunday night. Very good.
Yeah.
Good shit. Way better than, and I'm sorry, everyone, I posted in the chat that I did not like Uncut Gems, and everyone was mad at me. I just wasn't feeling it. It was not, I don't know what it was, but
I caught Ford versus Ferrari. I told you a few weeks ago, but I ended up buying it. You know, I was on the fence. I was like, do I spend $10 to buy it or just like $5 to rent it? And I'm like, you know what, this thing won enough awards, and I'm a car guy. Fuck it, I'm gonna buy it. I'm glad I bought it. I'll definitely watch that movie again. And it's a longer movie, but it kept my attention throughout, and I thought it was the drama was there at least. You know.
Yeah, no, it was really well done.
So
good cast.
But
like seeing the Italians.
Yeah. Heartbreaking at the end that the dude dies, and you're like, what? They almost got first, and they were like right on the edge, man.
I know. We were so mad.
I didn't realize that. I didn't know the history. So
spoiler, I guess.
Sorry.
Yeah, but we were so mad about that because we kept watching it. And we're like, oh fuck, something's gonna happen while he's racing. Like the brakes are gonna go out while he's like trying to finish the last lap, and he's gonna crash, and he's gonna whatever. Like, fuck, this is going to suck. And then he doesn't, and he's supposed to win, but he gets cheated out of it. And we're like, okay, I guess that's, kind of part of the story, whatever. And everything's happy. And then he's going around the test track at the end, and I'm like, God damn it. Can't we just end on a happy note?
I know.
It was a downer.
Yeah.
But good film for sure.
Random thought. So Lee Iacocca was a big Mopar guy too, and he's actually what saved Chrysler in the 80s by creating the minivan. So random stuff, but that he was always half hero to like Mopar fans, because I probably wouldn't have a Mopar right now if he didn't exist. And another random fact, Lee Iacocca was a Theta Chi, so he's actually a Theta Chi
Nice.
brother of mine. Two random facts. So random facts
Very
with his
savage.
Mopar, yeah.
I've heard the name a bunch because he's big in like the business community as a marketing director or CEO or whatever the fuck he ended up being. So I had heard the name, but I didn't really know much about him except for that he was at Ford. I actually didn't know he was at Mopar at all. So
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Thanks for the fun facts.
You're welcome. You want more?
Not right now, thanks. We'll wait till next week. Brandon Quinn jumped into the chat. He says hello there, and he asked if we're gonna do a Lord of the Rings commentary.
I think maybe Brendan was the one on Instagram that I just yelled at. He was someone was asking on Instagram about Lord of the Rings while we're on the topic, if there was going to be any more content from that entire universe, if they were going to get anything new. And I was like, you know what? It would probably be really smart of them to do something different in the Lord of the Rings.
The Amazon series is in development right now.
Oh, we'll talk about it because I don't know anything about it.
I don't think they've released details about the plot or anything. Amazon bought the rights to do a streaming series based on Lord of the Rings, similar to Game of Thrones, whatever you have. And it went into production. I think it's supposed to come out next year.
Nice.
So yeah, I don't know anything about the plot. I haven't been following it that much. I have never been huge on Lord of the Rings outside of the movies themselves. I've read The Hobbit a bunch, but other than the movies, I haven't been huge on the whole universe. I've actually never read the Lord of the Rings books, so I ordered those. I got a box set of the Lord of the Rings novels. Yeah, I'm excited to read those after I finish Dark Tower. But I'm not big on the lore. I don't know too much, but I'll be excited to watch the show.
You know, I might have to sit down and watch the Hobbit series again, the Hobbit trilogy. I know a lot of people had issues with it, and I'm not looking to watch a perfect movie. I thought Smaug was a kind of a cool thing, and the dwarves were kind of a cool spin. Yeah, I don't know. I just maybe a second watch through, because I think I've seen the first movie like maybe 2 or 3 times, and then I've only seen the second and the third once.
Right.
So it might be just worth another watch through.
Yeah, I wouldn't be opposed to that.
Something outside of Lord of the Rings kind of gets watered down for me. I've seen them. There's a lot of walking. All right. Which there's a lot of walking that happens in the other ones too, but it does seem like they kind of stick to a central area, and they deal with Smaug. And I don't know. Yeah, we'll see. Watch it again.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I'm excited to read it, man. I've been on a reading binge in quarantine, which is good. So picked up the Dark Tower again. I had read books 1 through 4 a while ago when I first got into that shit, like 2011, 2010, something like that. But I kind of burnt myself out on those. They're super weird, and they got super long, and I just needed to take a break. And just never really felt the urge. And then, I was looking for books to read on quarantine, just looked at the bookshelf, and I grabbed book 5, which I had, but had never read. Started that, and I'm blazing through it, almost done. And then book 6 and 7 are coming from Amazon any day now.
I wish I could get back on a reading binge. I always get halfway through a book, and I'm like, I'm done. Fire KOTOR back up.
Stephen King is, I'm not like a literary commentator or anything, but his way of writing is very, very good. Say what you will about like the subject matter and the topics, but he's really good at writing characters, and it just feels easy to read his stuff. Like, I've tried to read so many different Star Wars novels, and I read the first chapter or two, and I'm like, I'm not really feeling it, but regardless of the subject matter of the Dark Tower, it's written so well that it draws me in and it keeps me going through the book.
So you know what I felt?
Something to say.
I felt that the Dark Tower, and I've only read, I read through the first book and got like partway through the second. I thought that was written slightly different than his other books. His other books are all over the fucking place. And while the content of the Dark Tower is like, it's random. It's all, I mean,
it's
the content just doesn't make sense 50% of the time. And I don't think it's supposed to. But like I read Firestarter years ago, and it'll jump timelines without letting you know. And it'll refer to the same characters, but you'll just slowly start figuring out, oh, this guy's talking to his wife who is now dead. So we're back in time now. But it's I don't know. Sometimes if you blank out on a paragraph in a Stephen King book, you got to reread the whole chapter because you're going to be fucking lost. So
yeah.
you can't take a minute off with his books, but they are. It's like books are cool, man.
If you feel the urge to read and you want to pick the Dark Tower back up, what I would do is just watch or read a plot summary of book 2 and then start with book 3. Book
Really?
2 is the worst one. Yeah, book 2 is the worst one. He's probably on some cocaine binge in the 80s writing the shit out of that book, and it just, you need to know what happens in order. It sets up, the Gunslinger stands alone. Book 2 sets up what's going to happen in the next 5 books, but it itself is just really, it's a slog to get through. It's really hard. But once you do, book 3 is a lot of people's favorite one.
Okay.
So
I might have to do that because I mean I blanked out. I hardly remember the second book at all. I know there's doors on the beach and he goes into one and he's like in a city and he's hanging.
I mean, I could tell if you want a plot summary, I could tell you right now.
I don't want it.
You could boil all of book 2 down to 4 or 5 sentences. I'm serious. I hate to say that because there's probably Dark Tower fans that would be really mad at hearing me say that. But I mean, yeah, that's basically, you just need to know it's him gathering his party before he ventures forth. That's literally what book 2 is.
Okay. Yeah, because isn't there 3 doors on the beach and he enters one? Because I think is it right? There was 3 doors.
Entering all of them. Yeah.
Yeah, because I think he entered the first one and got out of it, and then he was going into the second one, and that's when I just quit. I was like, you know what, I'm over it.
Yeah. So start with.
Well,
3.
you can tell me those 4 sentences after we're done recording.
Okay, I will, and get you back into it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Now I do, just to wrap up fully on the gaming stuff. I know we started getting into Lord of the Rings and everything. And I know everybody hates me talking about KOTOR. I'm going through KOTOR, the first one again, as a soldier, light side.
Nice.
The stipulation is I'm wearing heavy armor.
Nice.
I'm using a blade in my left hand and one lightsaber in my right. And the only 2 characters that if I have a choice that I'm using is Mission and Zalbar.
Interesting. Okay.
So first of all,
challenging yourself with no force powers and stuff like that.
There are force powers you can use that aren't restricted by armor.
I meant to say like no Jedi party members.
Oh yeah. But the crazy thing is, I am a soldier. I'm wearing heavy armor. Guess who has the highest defense in my fucking squad?
Zalbar.
Mission.
What?
Mission, no joke.
She's got that thief dexterity, man.
Well, it's not the dexterity. It's smuggler's luck, or what is it? Scoundrel's luck. It gives her like +8 random defense. And I put her in some decent armor, but I took off the armor and she was still higher. I'm like, what the fuck is this bitch on?
It's crazy.
And she's just running around.
To me with Karth, when I tried to do the blasters, I was like, okay, my stats are better than all of Karth's stats. And he's slaying these people with his blasters. Yeah. So I took his blaster and took the other one, and I was not hitting shit.
I know.
It's just like the characters are for some reason they have plot armor, or they have happy dance stats or whatever.
Happy dance. But that was my switch up on that game, is to be limited on my force powers. I can still use push and force wave, that whole line. I can use lightsaber throw. So kind of all the universal ones I can still use. But light side and dark side, I can't really, outside of heal. I can heal myself with that. The other nice thing is, because I'm a Jedi Guardian, you can do that force jump into battle.
Mm-hmm.
I can still do that with I'm wearing Calo Nord's like 12-point arm. I'm like fucking balls to the wall. I mean, no one hurts me. And I'm like leaping 30 yards into battle, cutting fuckers up. I'm using the Baka blade from the Wookiees in my left hand.
The blade is so good. Yeah,
it's fucking bananas. It's better than my lightsaber. And then I'm using my just my lightsaber in my right. So
nice.
But yeah, she goes in there and just beats the shit out of people with her stick. And then Zalbar, I give him whatever the fuck. I can give him a blaster or whatever, and he goes and just does his shit. So
yeah, Zalbar is a savage, man.
But
he's really good.
Yeah, that's what. So that's it for the gaming here. But I am excited to match up at the end against what's the bad guy in that one?
Darth Vader.
Yeah, match up against Dragus. With full armor. I'm interested to see what if his lightsaber does any damage here against my full armored ass.
Is there anything that is more resistant to other people's force powers? Not a stat, but like, can you get armor that makes you more resistant to force powers?
There is a force power that makes you resistant to force power.
But no, like equipment that does that.
No, I've really been paying attention to physical damage, and energy damage. So a lightsaber does energy damage. That's like if a droid has a shield on, your lightsaber has to get through the shield first, and then it starts hitting the droid. And that's why if I have that Baka blade in my left hand, no matter if they put a shield on or not, I'm fucking cutting them in half with that thing.
So you got the best of both worlds.
So I have the best of both worlds. So, nice. But against specific force powers, no. I think it's your charisma. You have to have high charisma, whether or not the force powers affect you. Yeah. Like the whirlwind, if you have high charisma, it's not going to affect you. But yeah,
because I was just wondering, like, that's the thing about Malak fighting him is that he just uses force power every 3 seconds on you.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It really is. Yeah, I don't know. Like, what it doesn't specify like force lightning. Is that energy? Is that energy damage? Because if it is, I can just do one of the energy shields, and maybe he has power. Unlimited.
It's unlimited power.
So that's enough KOTOR.
Skill.
That's enough KOTOR. I still haven't got through the second one because it's dog shit. Just like episode 7.
Play it, you fuck.
Play it.
I haven't gotten through it either, but don't call it dog shit. You played it.
That's so crazy that both of us, neither of us have gotten through it.
Yeah, I'll get there one day. I was actually about to jump back into KOTOR because I saw you were playing it because I wanted a single player game, but now that the Fallen Order update is here, I'm probably going to play through that first. Before
and Battlefront
jump back into KOTOR.
And Overwatch.
I just mean single player versus multiplayer. Yep. But yeah, I want you, once you get out of your single player gaming funk, I want you to jump back onto Overwatch. Please. Reclaim your throne as Lucio. We've been crushing.
I don't know. They slowed him down. Can't do it anymore.
Barely. They slowed him down so little. He's still the fastest character in the game.
No. People run by me.
No.
Soldier 76 runs by me.
With his sprint, but normal movement speed, he's still the fastest in the game.
Nah, close.
Yeah.
The hamster's pretty fucking fast, too.
Yeah, once he gets some momentum with his fucking
go-go
grappling hook or whatever the hell you call it.
It's Batman.
Okay, next bit of news. What the fuck? Share my screen, Safari. There we go. Okay.
This is big news.
So, Taika Waititi, director of Thor Ragnarok and an episode or 2 of The Mando, is creating
did you forget the biggest movie of his?
What?
Endgame.
He's not the director of Endgame, is he? No, the Russo brothers directed Endgame. Get out of here.
He was listed under Endgame.
Yeah, he's Korg, and I think he probably did some other shit. Hold, please.
Oh, I didn't realize. So he's an actor too.
Yeah, the blue rock guy that's friends with.
Okay.
That's his voice.
That's probably what it was then. I looked him up earlier and I saw that listed and I was like, what? He directed that shit? Oh, he did Jojo Rabbit too. Awesome.
Yeah. Wait, where is Endgame though?
It doesn't exist.
Wait, that's writer. No.
Producer, actor, director.
Director. Yeah, it's not on there. He did not do that. But he did Thor, and he's doing the next Thor movie as well, which is in production right now.
And the first episode of Mando.
Yep, and he's IG-11. And he's a savage, and he's hilarious. So,
he's IG-11. Nice.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yes. So, no, he did 2 episodes, I think, of the Mando, because he did the season finale episode. Anyways, he's directing and co-writing a new Star Wars feature film for theatrical release. Joining him on the screenplay will be Academy Award nominee Christy Wilson Cairns. I don't know how to say that. I don't know who the rest of these people are, unfortunately. And Emmy nominated writer Leslie Headland, Russian Doll, Bachelorette. Again, I haven't seen any of those things. Oh, 1917, my bad. I went right through that. Christy Wilson Cairns was on 1917, which we fucking love. So, yeah, that's one of our upcoming Star Wars movies, other than the trilogy that we know nothing about that will be taking place in 22, 24, and 26. So I'm assuming this will come in between those. Might be a standalone thing. It's good that we're having news about a theatrical release, though. A lot of stuff has been Disney Plus central. I know we have the Kenobi thing coming up, Cassian Andor coming up. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm kind of looking back through our chat here because I thought someone shared this news.
Yeah.
But
FedEx did, I think. Thank you, FedEx.
I could have sworn that there was a word difference, so it wasn't just a movie. I thought it said films for some reason, and for some reason I wanted to say
theatrical release.
What is it?
Here. It just says feature film for theatrical release.
For some reason, I want to say there was a specific word in the one that I read that mentioned like a 2 movie thing. I don't know.
Standalone, perhaps.
Well, I'm saying like it maybe like a prequel and a sequel or however you want it. What do you even call that? A duet of fucking films?
You mean a series of 2 instead of a series of 3?
Yeah, instead of a trilogy, is it just a
duology?
That's what I'm asking. I don't know the rules.
I don't know. I'm not a grammaticist.
I'm a grammatisms. Yeah, I just for whatever reason in my mind I had that he was doing 2 movies, but yeah, I guess confirmed from StarWars.com. It's just a new Star Wars feature film.
And in the same press release, Leslie Headland, who I mentioned, I threw that into the first section, which was a mistake. She is developing a new untitled Star Wars series for Disney Plus. So this will be our 4th Star Wars Disney Plus series. It doesn't have any details.
Okay.
So we don't know what that is. Same with the movie. We don't know what that is. But I'm a huge fan of Watiti's work, so I think that's going to be awesome.
Watiti.
No release dates, no information, just the fact that it's happening is cool.
IMDb had 2023.
A lot of that stuff is just estimated until
Well, isn't I'm assuming the next Star Wars film that's going to be dropped is going to be the Rian Johnson stuff.
I believe the last news we heard of that is that the Game of Thrones guys were supposed to do that 22, 24, and 26 trilogy, and they backed away. I don't know if they've said who is actually taking that up or whose project is going to fill those 3-year release dates. Yeah. I'm assuming it will be Rian Johnson's project, but I'm not sure. So my guess would be we have that trilogy, and then in between them is going to be 2 more spinoffs, one of them this Taika Waititi film. So probably 2023 is probably accurate.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We need some insider sources.
Someone call.
Tell us what's happening. Any thoughts? I mean, we don't have details or anything, just the fact that it's happening.
This is the glory of what they're doing. We're getting different visions of what can take place in the Star Wars universe. That was the good and the bad of what we call legends now, where some of the stories you hear you're like, what, that was a terrible book, or that was a weird game. But sometimes you come across the Clone Wars book series or KOTOR or something like that, and you're like, holy shit, this is it. Mm-hmm. So even if you didn't like Solo, even if you didn't like Rogue One or the sequels, like you have an opportunity for a different vision within the Star Wars universe that maybe does tickle your fancy. So
yeah, I think the sequel trilogy kind of confirming the fact that Star Wars is back in action, still tied to the old stuff, but kind of firmly planting the foundation that Star Wars is back, Lucasfilm is back, Disney knows what they're doing with the IP. Now we have a little bit of a gap before any actual films are released. Coming back out of that, I think we're going to be in brand new territory, which I'm very excited about. Newish territory. I don't know. I have a sense after just seeing what Filoni is working on and all the Mandalorian stuff that's popping in. I think there's a lot of storylines with Mandalore and the Mandalorians and the clans that are going to keep weaving into different films or different shows.
Different weaves.
I don't think that's over with. I'm sure we're going to get a new animation series at some point as well.
Good segue. Let's get into Clone Wars here.
The Clone Wars.
The greatest thing to happen to Star Wars.
Yeah, I have thoughts about Clone Wars in general. I have a lot of thoughts about the last 4 episodes. Um, let's go. Let's fucking go. Let's fucking do it.
All right. Let's get something straight.
Okay.
They did something spectacular with this season. And not the entire season, but with let's just call it the last 4 episodes. That I just it because it was so good and it was done so well, and it was about a character that maybe because of some of the throwaway episodes, yet you're with Ahsoka for so long. It felt like a very heavy, dark time. I thought the music was perfect. I thought her interactions with the clones were perfect. I thought her interaction with even Maul, like that was a sworn enemy, and you find them not particularly working together, but not going after each other. Like they're kind of fending for themselves, and if they can benefit by working with each other for a half of a mission, then let's do it and then go our fucking separate ways, because you've got your own issues, I've got my own issues now. And
the whole good guy bad guy thing is over.
Well, because of what happens with Order 66, which Maul knew about, but he didn't know like specific details or when or how or anything. He just knew that the plans were there. So it was kind of cool to watch Order 66 unfold from both point of views, a former Jedi and from a former Sith. And it's like with those two dynamics being so close to each other in the same situation, but on very different sides, and showing them how close they really are, was so cool and done so well. I thought the interactions with the clones were epic. It's hard spoilers going forward, guys. So,
and that really is what you just touched on. That really is the entire arc of Ahsoka in this final season, is coming to terms with, she left the Jedi Order. I think she's content with that decision, and now she's getting to see their true nature, or what they have become in spite of themselves because of the war. There's a lot of tidbits. Her whole journey with those two sisters, that plays part of it. How the council treats her when she's reporting back to them in the part 3, whatever this last arc is. All that stuff is kind of leading her to realize that like the Jedi aren't these superheroes that are in charge of everything. Like, Maul, what?
It's funny because they are superheroes. They're just misguided. Like it's their energy and their time are it's misplaced. Like they're trusting in the wrong thing. They're making differences. I don't know. It's construed. It's all wrong. And I think Anakin feels it too, obviously, but he's he's in too deep, and he's got other issues that he's trying to save Padme, and he can't do that while he's not a Jedi, well, at least in his head. Well, and being real, if he left the Jedi Order, he probably would have not have killed Padme, and they probably would have just lived on Naboo next to the tick farm, and
those fucking waterfalls,
and just had Jar Jar cook him up some fish every day. So
no sand on the whole planet, and
not so happy,
not a single grain. Yeah, the finishing off the Clone Wars really established my overall consensus in Star Wars that do not ever, no matter what you do for any reason whatsoever, listen to your Force visions. Have the dream, maybe write it in your dream journal, and then fucking forget about it and go on with your day. Because anytime you see a prophecy, or you think you see the future and you try to act on that, it goes the opposite direction. You end up causing what you're trying to prevent. Everything goes wrong. So just fucking, I don't know, just take a supplement so that you don't dream.
See,
tell the Force to chill.
See, I'm still under the assumption. Uh-oh, did I lose Commander? Hello? I'll just continue here. I'm still under the assumption that regardless if you try to prevent your vision from happening is going to happen one way or another. But that's just obviously from a certain point of view. So, hello, today is the day. I think Commander blipped out on me. Ooh, ah. No, 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 no.
Of its sturdiness. Get this mic. It's great. You hear that? I can tap on it. It's good. Got a blue light on my chin.
Where did Commander go? What is happening?
Sturdiness. Get this mic. It's great.
Commander's lost forever. It shall be done. But seriously, Clone Wars is trash. Don't watch it. This was my face the whole time. Ooh, ah. I need an entire series. Takes place on Yavin, Forest Moon of Endor. That's where I want it. Endor. Where kids just try on goofy hats.
Hey!
Hey!
I'm just glad it's still open and still streaming. I don't know what happened. All of our power just went out for like 2 minutes and then came back on.
Anakin seems upset.
But I'm back, still recording. Everything's fine. Here we are. I think right before I cut out, you were talking about Ahsoka's point of view on the Jedi. Her and Maul teaming up. They have things to learn from one another. Ahsoka is no longer jaded by the Jedi Order. I think that's where he left it.
Yeah. There was very obvious just epic tie-ins to hard tie-ins episode 3, like exact scenes that we see. One of them is I sense a plot to destroy the Jedi when Mace Dungle is talking to Yoda and the other two.
Yeah.
She walks in and you're like, oh, the scene continues in the movie. Like, what the fuck? But it's a cool
great scene.
Oh, it's tied in so closely, which is nice, that they would do something like that. I thought it was done tasteful too. It didn't seem forced or rushed. I thought it made sense.
Yeah.
No.
I have some feelings about, like, I was wondering how they were going to tie into the rest of the characters. Like, do you feel surprised that we didn't hear much from Anakin in this last season? Like, were you expecting to see some scenes back on Coruscant, like an animated in between the scenes of like what actually happens in Revenge of the Sith? Or are you happy that it's just still focused on Ahsoka and Rex?
I hadn't really thought about it as far as like trying to put more Anakin in. I was actually happy, and it seems like if you take Clone Wars as a whole, it's not even about Anakin. It's about his apprentice, and
Right.
from the very beginning, he gets a Padawan, and they grow together, and they're very closely related, obviously, but it's kind of like Anakin's storyline just like releases the Ahsoka storyline, and then we start following her, and he goes his own way,
Yep.
which is nice because while any more Anakin / Darth Vader news or content, fucking sign me up. But to be honest, Ahsoka's one of the best, well-rounded characters that we never even knew we wanted.
Yeah.
They like if you told me 10 years ago the idea of Anakin Skywalker having a Padawan, I probably would have laughed and been like, dude, he doesn't. It's Anakin Skywalker. What is he? He's not a teacher. He's just the chosen one. Just fucking like do shit.
You mean 15 years ago?
Yeah, well, maybe 2 years ago.
I still think that 2 seconds ago.
Ooh, but I just it's nice that they are able to do that with a character that has zero screen time in the films.
Yeah.
And for us to really care that much, and she's so hard tied into the prequels, and now, I mean, the very last scene, I have to ask you, they jump ahead a fuck ton, like from what I'm assuming.
Yeah.
And just the idea that Ahsoka has had an ongoing impact on Darth Vader through episode 5, you're like, the fact that they did that is so cool. I know. Yeah. I mean, that's what Star Wars is tying things together using like unique characters in a universe that we can't even imagine. So it's cool that something so old, episode 5 from 1980, and from something so new can be so hard tied, and it makes perfect sense. It adds to
I don't know
each
if they went quite that far.
It was fucking perfect.
Yeah.
Wait,
I mean, chronologically, I don't think, because where they crash land, that's where we pick up with Rex and Rebels, I'm assuming. Someone better versed in the animation would be able to tell me, but I'm pretty sure that's the planet when they find Rex when he's old in Rebels. That's where they land.
See,
So I'm assuming that
explain.
Vader was just in the middle of hunting down all the Jedi that escaped. They knew what ship Ahsoka was on, so he had to go and check it out and like make sure that no one was there. So that's why they ended up there. But it's been enough time that they now have, different armor and the probe droids. So it's probably been like a year or something.
See, I was under the assumption, especially with them having snowtroopers and all the probe droids, I was a hard assumption that this was Hoth.
Oh, no, I don't think so. Because
See,
when they land on the planet, it's like
a desert.
bright and yeah, but it's bright and sunny.
I just
Hoth's
asking.
like an ice planet. The whole planet's ice.
I'm just asking because I don't know how that shit affects stuff. Maybe if you get fucking smacked in the head as a small moon by a star destroyer, it'll change your fucking climate. I don't know.
CTE affects more than just humans. Breaking news. Now affects planets.
I'm just asking. I don't know. I don't know the rules, the Star Wars climate rules.
If your moon gets tackled by the other galaxy's quarterback, your planet ecosystem's going to be fucked.
A penalty flag is thrown. I don't know the rules. So,
I don't know. This is probably the area of Star Wars that I'm least versed in. So I don't know for sure, but that's my assumption.
Okay. Yeah. When they showed, because I don't know what it was. Let's talk about this last episode. It was fucking nuts. I felt on edge the entire time, and that's something that I'm gonna say 80% of the time in the cartoon Star Wars world, I do not feel. I absolutely don't feel. I thought the soundtrack, or not the soundtrack, the fucking score. Thank you.
The score. Yep.
The score was fucking perfect, and it was just doom and gloom, and we're all gonna die. And people are dying left and right, and they end up crash landing a Star Destroyer.
Chilling. The music, chilling.
Yeah.
Like all those most emotional and creepy, not even creepy, emotional and heartbreaking moments from Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah.
They just took that and ran with it for these last 2 episodes.
Yeah. And even the visuals, I mean, it was so like goosebumpy that when Vader picks up Ahsoka's lightsaber at the very end, ignites it, sheathes it, and walks away, and you see like Vader's reflection disappear in the clone helmet visor. I'm like,
yeah, the imagery in the whole last season was fantastic.
Yeah, he's just walking away from those things that that created him. That's what he loved: saving the clones, saving people, helping people out.
Yeah.
And he just had to walk away from it.
Now, back to characters and things. I agree with you. Ahsoka is the main character, and the fact that we're focusing on her makes so much sense in the last season. I suppose part of what I was expecting, knowing that this will lead up to Order 66 and even into Revenge of the Sith, I wanted to know a little bit more about Anakin and Ahsoka's relationship and how that could have played into his actions in Revenge of the Sith. We've always kind of assumed like Padme is like the big attachment for Anakin, but now we also know that his Padawan Ahsoka is another huge attachment that we don't see on screen in the film. But how could that play into his decision making when he's seduced by Palpatine in Revenge of the Sith? I was expecting a little bit of that. I loved the last 4 episodes and the last 2 episodes especially. I will say the last one felt a little too much just like action. Like Order 66 happens, like I know they have to escape the ship, but I wanted a little more emotional weight other than them just getting out of the ship and flying this and throwing this and missing the shuttle and, doing Mission Impossible stunts through the air as they're falling. Like it was entertaining for sure, but I would have traded, 7 minutes of that for a transmission with Anakin or something like that.
Oh, absolutely.
Obi-Wan or something like that.
Or if there was something like, let me write Star Wars, just please. If there was like if there was like a transmission sent from Ahsoka, just out like an emergency Jedi line or something weird, that she's just like, anyone out there, my clones have the same thing that Obi-Wan does. My clones have turned on me. If she sent that out and then Vader intercepted that and watched it and just stared at the fucking screen, I would have been just scared at the hologram.
And like didn't hunt her down, like knows he has to, but didn't. Yeah.
Or if Palpatine intercepts it and uses that transmission to twist Vader even more. The Padawan lives. Go kill her or some shit. And Vader just has to stand there and like he has to do it.
Yeah.
Go kill your Padawan.
Yeah. Yeah, I needed a little bit of that.
Still
so good though. I don't want to take anything away from it.
Absolutely. No, and I completely agree. I was waiting for more. Dude, the last 4 episodes were heavy. Were very heavy.
Yeah, I would like to see those together as like a movie.
Yeah. But no, I agree. If they took, I mean, the short, they're only like 23-minute long episodes, and there was legitimately like 12 minutes of just her defending Rex, and I'm like, okay, I mean, I get it, it's cool, and they're all struggling, and it's okay.
Right.
Let's get off the fucking ship.
Right. That was my thought. I was watching the second to last episode, and it felt like there was so much happening. There was so much story. She saw the transmission. They got off of Mandalore. Order 66 happens, and I checked the time on Disney Plus, and I'm like, shit, I'm barely even halfway through. There's so much going on in this episode. The final one, I felt the opposite. Like all this happening, I was like, oh, they finally got off the ship. Let me check the time. Oh, geez, there's only like 2 minutes left. Like that was the whole episode.
Yeah,
so that's my grievance, I guess, with that last arc.
I have a weird question. I forget so easily. I remember Order 66 happening, but how does Ahsoka react? Because she feels it, right?
She hears, or she gets a sense, her and Maul both get a sense of Palpatine, Anakin, and Mace in that fight.
Oh,
she can hear some of that.
What have I done?
You can hear the echoes of that, like in her thoughts, like unlimited power, and he's too dangerous to be left alive. You can hear all that dialogue from 3 playing out, and Maul's getting it too. Yeah, and then she goes in, and Rex drops his helmet, and he's like crying, trying to hold himself back, but he can't do it because the inhibitor chips.
Yep. Yeah. Oh man, yeah. It's. I mean, you get 6 seasons of the clones being good guys, and then it takes four episodes to turn them straight evil, and it's a plot device that the inhibitor chip. I have my thoughts on. It's kind of just a cop out, but if I'm supposed to believe in something like that, and I mean the clones were created, it's not like a fucking way out there idea. It's just a fucking press of the button, and it's boom, I own this galaxy.
Yeah, I'm 50-50 on it because I'm like, it's kind of a cop out, but also if Palpatine was in control of an entire clone army and an entire droid army that he was going to use to take over the entire galaxy, like obviously he has contingencies to fucking clone his dead body. Like, yeah, I'm sure he would have figured all that shit out. So it makes sense. But I also do think it's just like, oh, just flip of the switch, a voice. It's like, hey, Siri, execute Order 66, and then everything changes.
Yeah. Sorry, I missed that. Siri's trying to annihilate
Siri.
the Jedi now.
Siri, the Jedi are treason.
The Jedi are taking over. Something that I saw, I don't know what I was doing. I think I was watching like YouTube, just random Star Wars scenes. And I watched there has been an attempt on my life, and my resolve has never been stronger, and all this shit. And this is where liberty dies, and all this. That it kind of made me cringe. I was like, yeah, that's
one of the best parts when he's lifting his arms and everyone's cheering for him. And
it's epic. It's fucking epic. It's just kind of like, yeah, the wrinkly old dude is taking over. The evil guy standing in front of you, that's evil.
Bro, get out of here. Get out of here.
I don't know. It's just
take a break.
But no, I mean, just realistically, he's from Naboo, and he's going directly against the what am I trying to say?
Nubian? Eh?
Against the I mean, he's not doing anything to benefit the Nubians.
No, he's not the senator anymore. He's in charge of the whole galaxy.
But he's from Naboo. Is my point.
He doesn't give a fuck when he gets there, though.
I know, but I'm saying, like, from Padme's point of view, this is your like mentor, and as soon as and as soon as he takes power, he leaves you in the fucking dust and doesn't give a shit about your planet anymore, which is his planet. And all this like emergency powers and stuff goes completely against what he's been promising you. And like let's protect Naboo or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And
Well,
it's
that's why
like,
I wish they had those deleted scenes left in 3, because Padme susses him out pretty quickly. Like in Queen's Shadow, she's no longer the queen. She's starting to become the senator. Palpatine's trying to get her under his wing as like his protege. And she thinks it's fishy from the start. She doesn't trust him. So if we had had those scenes with Mon Mothma and Bail and Padme and those few other senators in Revenge of the Sith being a little untrusting of Palpatine and like curious as to what his actual plan is, I think that would have made way more sense there at the end.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Also, more Jimmy Smits is good Jimmy Smits. So
Yeah.
you know,
any other, the
a lot of thoughts.
I wouldn't even suggest like skipping any of them. I know a lot of the earlier episodes were like, what did I even watch? But it really does kind of set everything up. You get little snippets of Anakin early on, and it kind of does tie everything together. And then once you do hit the ground running with the last 4 or 5 episodes, it means a lot more. Like we were talking about the two sisters that she kind of bunks up with like for 3 episodes, that the plot doesn't even really mean anything, but it's kind of
it's 4.
Yeah, it's 3 or 4.
I'm gonna look.
But it's just kind of the realization of like what the Jedi have actually done. They think they're doing nothing but good, saving people, but they go and destroy a planet, save it, but they're not there to pick up the pieces. They just kind of leave it in ruin. And the people, we saved millions of people, but now they have nowhere to eat or sleep or fucking food, or they can't have it. So she's kind of seen the what am I trying to say?
Hypocrisy.
The hypocrisy of the Jedi.
The Jedi Order. Yeah, I mean, that has been our complaint, I think, with the animation, is like, if these last 4 episodes were so good, why don't you just make all the episodes that good? Like, I understand the point of Ahsoka meeting those sisters, and her whole thing was people view the Jedi differently when you're in the underworld on Coruscant, or when you're just some random citizen in the Republic. Like, not everyone thinks of them as like, the be all end all for, good guys. Like, it's different opinions based on how they've experienced the Jedi and interacted with them. We could have done that in 1 episode. Like, they didn't need to have this whole plot of spice running and go here and go to Kessel and meet these people and here's the Pikes. That didn't make me more understanding of Ahsoka's point of view.
Right.
No,
it's, what this makes me want is an Ahsoka animated movie.
And that is 4 episodes, by the way.
4 full episodes.
There's 4 episodes with the Bad Batch, and then there's 4 full episodes with those sisters. And then there's the 4 at the end.
Yeah. Kind of weird. It just jumps around. Like, the Bad Batch stuff is like, why?
They're cool. Yeah, whatever. They're also cliche. The main dude's the leader. He looks like Rambo. Then you have the big giant guy that wants to beat everyone up. And then you have the sharpshooter. And then you have the nerdy
nerd
guy.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I get it. It's the Ninja Turtles.
It could have been the Ninja Turtles. That's exactly what I was going to say.
The fucking Ninja Turtles in Star Wars.
No, but no joke. Like, after watching the last 4 episodes, what would absolutely sell, and I would absolutely fucking buy and watch over and over, is a standalone animated Ahsoka movie. Maybe of her dodging the Empire. You can even tie in some real small stuff. I know we're gonna see her in Mando now, but like a standalone movie of her. I don't even call them adventures. Her struggles.
Yeah.
Of dodging the Empire and maybe trying to actually help people out, and maybe befriending some people. Like the Ahsoka book happens, where she befriends some people. They start figuring out that she's a Jedi. They have mixed feelings about it. She's on edge, like, look, I was a Jedi. I don't do that stuff anymore for obvious reasons, and you can't tell anybody or they're gonna fucking come kill me.
Yeah.
But so I mean, the story doesn't have to be that deep. Just put Ahsoka on a full movie and make it as epic as those 4 episodes, and I'll fucking sign up.
One thing that I thought of was interesting if we could have some story of the clones after Order 66. Like, it'd be interesting to follow them through a series of them acclimating with the Empire and how things change. And maybe Rex and Ahsoka try to reach out to some of the clone troopers and, you know, explain or try to leak the fact that, like, there was an inhibitor chip and this was all some big conspiracy, and, you know, try to pull some of the clones out of the Empire. And I think that would be an interesting way to go for the next animated series.
Absolutely.
I don't know.
If they came across a way to, like, nix or negate the chip and its effects, and they just went around trying to, like, save their brothers, you know, the soldiers, I think it would be fucking epic. And then she can come across an inquisitor, and I don't, like, it doesn't have to be that deep of a, just put her in there, have her figure something out and struggle her way through. I don't give a shit. She's
And I think we will. It seems like this whole Clone Wars, clones, inquisitors leading into the rebellion, I think there's more to be explored in this time gap. So have they announced that they're going to do another animated series?
I hope not.
I feel like they've said, like, yeah, we are going to do one, but we don't know.
This one's going to be called The Rebellion. So we got the Rebels, we've got the Resistance, this is going to be the Resistance against the rebellion of the heroes. And
actually, I just thought of, I think Clone Wars, especially the first 5 seasons, were probably suffering from the fact that they were put out on network TV. So, like, you have a season and it's 26 weeks long, so you have to make 26 episodes.
Yeah.
And you know the Clone Wars is only 2 years in the timeline, so you kind of have to put all that fluff in there. Whereas you get to the Mando, and it's like you only have 10, and they're all going to be fucking good because you only get 10 every season.
Right.
I think that might be part of it as well.
This whole season is going to be about a frog, and he's got a football team of droids, and they got to go over here to blow up the shit. You're like, dude, how many episodes of this? I just need to know what I got to skip. Jesus, what am I watching?
Yeah.
I did actually like the use of the 3 droids in the most recent episode. It was kind of a nice touch, and kind of just a callback to how useful those droids can be. You know, you trust in people so much, but people fail, and obviously the clones were a huge issue. I thought it was kind of a nice, like, segue into how dependent, like, the rebellion is on droids and that sort of thing. That they don't have anybody else.
Saviors, man. They're the ones saving everybody's skin.
You know, I also the visualization and the symbolism of that last episode. So I'm thinking of one of the very last shots. So while the Star Destroyer is crash landing and it's burning up and blah, it's like the fall of the Empire, or the fall of the Republic is visually happening right here, and the start of the rebellion where they're on a Y-wing just barely escaping. It was just like all right there, and I'm like, oh, you guys killed it. Why just do this more? Just do this more. Come on.
There is a lot of imagery from a lot of parallels to film imagery in the last couple of episodes. I noticed a lot of stuff, like Maul had that hallway scene where he's fucking up all those the clone troopers straight out of Rogue One. Anakin had that confrontation scene on the bridge straight out of Last Jedi. There's a lot of nice parallels there that they pulled some kind of cinematography ideas from the movies. And the cinematography in general, I don't know if you call it that when it's animation, but it looked so much better than all the other seasons by far.
Absolutely.
Like the shot there where they kind of had a mix of almost what they would do back in, like, the original trilogy with, like, that art backdrop of, like, what that planet looked like. And then you see the animation of the snowtroopers and Vader in front of it, and the helmet and the shadows, the smoke, all that stuff just looked so good.
Yeah.
Like, animation is fucking, it's getting there, man.
It's on another level. And it's crazy that they went to the extent, I did share something on our Facebook page about how they mocapped Darth Maul and Ahsoka lightsaber battle.
Ray Park returns. Yeah, that was fucking amazing.
You know, and I saw that after I watched the episode, but going back and kind of looking at it, the battle seemed so real, I guess. Like it was within the
I felt the
like
same.
like even in episode 3, like the Obi-Wan Anakin, it's crazy, but it doesn't seem real. It's so extravagant. This one felt like you could see the weight of the lightsaber hit and deflect, and you just the reactions of the fight, and like it's weird, but you notice it like subconsciously, like your body weight shifts forward. Now you got to shift back to defend, and like weird small stuff, like the natural movements of a battle.
Yeah.
The fact that they went to that extent is crazy, is my point. And I did notice it. I wouldn't have pointed it out if I, without seeing that behind the scenes, but
Yeah.
I had zero issues with it, and that's probably why, because it was fucking
Right.
real. So
I did notice something when they were fighting. I was like, this one feels different than all the other animated fights. Like something
they stayed on the ground. They weren't flipping around like freaks.
Dude, yeah, some of them get out of hand quickly. But no, it felt different. The way Maul was moving everything, it just felt a little different. I didn't know exactly what it was, and then I saw that clip of Ray Park in mocap, and I was like, oh, that makes way more sense.
It's funny that we say like the different styles and the extent of what they do with the lightsaber battles, because I remember the Todorovsky one where it's like Asajj and Anakin are falling, just whipping each other's asses, falling through the sky. Just like you just see blades flying around. You're like, dude, what is even happening right now? Just a blur.
They move so fast, yeah, you can't see shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they weren't even like standing. They were just falling through the sky because they fell off a cliff or something. You're like, I don't even. What is happening right now?
Yeah.
So
yeah, Brendan says Maul was like jump striking. I think that's what it was.
Yeah.
I was like, I haven't seen that in the animation, but that's totally a Ray Park thing.
Yeah, where he jumps into the air and strikes down at her.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He's just going fucking full click on Ahsoka there.
Yeah. No,
Awesome.
it's perfect. They go to that extent to make. See, that's the cool thing. You can tell which episodes they spend time and money on, and I don't. To your point, because it was a TV series, we've got to fill 36 episodes this season, blah blah, because that's what we got to make. And you're like,
right.
What if we only got 28 decent storylines? Well, just put droids in there and a frog and fuck it around.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean,
but now they get to curate. I'm so excited for the Disney Plus stuff. Like now they get to curate all of it. Lucasfilm has the umbrella of control over the whole thing. No one's telling them you have to fill airtime, you have to do this, you have to sell ads. They do whatever the fuck they want. They have 10 solid ass episodes, and I think it's going to be a bright future for Star Wars.
Well, if you had to give, I mean, you can give the whole season or whatever you think the last 4 episodes or whatever fuck out of 10, what would you? Or if you want to do our 3 out of 3 ratings.
See, it's hard because when I rewatch this season, I'm just going to skip those 4 episodes.
The Bad Batch episodes?
No, the sisters and the spice running. I'm just going to skip.
Guess, I mean, overall, if I had to give the last 4 episodes a rating, I'd give it a 3 out of 3.
For sure.
As a totality, it's probably like a 2 out of 3. I mean,
yeah.
If you're,
I would say the season is a 2 out of 3 for sure for me.
But yeah, I mean, if it didn't end the way it ended, it could have been a huge letdown. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, definitely.
If it would have been Bad Batch, sisters, and then some weird, I don't know, happy dance through and get away with Ahsoka, and there was no like real depth to it, it could have been really, really bad. But they did a great job. They did. They finished it up really well, and it does kind of make me want to go back and do like a viewer's guide of the legit episodes. See, that's the crazy thing. We get to this point, and there's so much weight. These last 4 episodes were so good, and then you go to like weird shit where they're on that force planet, and there's the dark side brother, and you're like, how the fuck do these two
how are these the same thing?
Dude, Ahsoka's on this planet and then is in the clone it's crazy to me the extent that they went. And I'm glad that stuff exists in a cartoon. If they did some shit like that in a movie, I probably would have completely tuned out. As far as like the Force people or whatever.
Yeah.
Because it's definitely out there.
Yeah, I know what you mean. They cannot do that in live action. And what I think is going to happen now is they can take a lot more of that take a lot more of the, I don't know what the term I'm looking for is, but they can maybe pull some of the aspects of filmmaking into the animated series. Like they can treat it, I hate to say more seriously, but they can treat it with the same care that they would a film. Like we have one shot at this. It comes out, once every 2 years. It's a huge budget, and it is the backbone of the franchise. And now with Disney Plus, they can treat the animation in the series that way.
Let me ask you something, and we'll wrap up here.
I'm ready for it.
I'm kind of done with the Clone Wars. It was great. It was great. I'll probably rewatch at least those last 4 episodes several times just to wrap my head around it.
Yes, ma'am.
Very good. I'm very happy with it. With them going in so many different directions, and there's so many storylines. What I wanted to ask you is maybe like a top 2 or top 3 character arcs in all of Star Wars. And I'll leave it to Expanded Universe Legends, like if you want to include KOTOR or but I guess character arcs is what I was looking for. What are maybe your like top 2 or top 3 character arcs in Star Wars?
It's a good question.
I mean, the obvious one, come on. It's hard to not say, but go ahead.
Well, there might be a couple obvious ones. As huge KOTOR fans, I first want to say Revan, but thinking of Legends, I think I want to say Bane. No, I might say Revan, and then I'll also throw in, if you're talking top 3, I'll also throw in Ahsoka for real and Kylo Ren.
Wow, so you'd completely miss my obvious one. The reason for Star Wars is Anakin Skywalker.
Vader. Yeah, I know, but that one's too obvious.
But it is. If Star Wars I would not like Star Wars without Darth Vader, without the rise and fall of Anakin, without everything he does, and even the sequel. Even Kylo Ren is looking back,
I know,
jerking off to the helmet, and you're like,
even though it's fake,
is it?
Well, the helmet's not fake, but he's hearing Palpatine in his head.
Yeah.
I haven't read as much of those comics, those Vader comics, as you have, so there's probably things that I'm missing. I think my grievance with Vader being like the backbone of Star Wars is that in the original trilogy, he doesn't do all that much. Like, he's a bad guy. He tosses around some people. He chokes his own guards, but he doesn't do all that much. No, so I kind of truncate Vader's journey down to like the prequel trilogy. So that feels like the prequel trilogy storyline for me. So I think that's probably where I lose a little bit of the Vader backstory. If I had buffed up on, all the expanded stuff, then that probably would change.
Yeah, I mean, my top one is Vader. It's just the symbolism of like the fall of Anakin is also the fall of the Jedi. And he was like the quintessential Jedi that was twisted, just like the fucking Masters and everybody else. And they all pointed at Anakin and want to blame him, but they're like, we're doing the same shit over here and we're all fucking around. I just like it. And then his redemption, there's so much to Anakin Darth Vader's storyline. I love it. Yeah. Ahsoka is my second. I truly like, she's kind of the mirror image of Anakin. She just gets away before all hell breaks loose.
She sees it from a different point of view, I think.
Yeah, I think she wanted to distance herself because she just had moral issues. She was not seeing eye to eye with everybody there. And
I think Anakin probably feels trapped in a way a little bit. Like, I think they both probably spot things in the Jedi Order that they're unhappy with.
Oh, yeah.
But I think Anakin, he was a slave, and if Qui-Gon had never shown up on Tatooine and banged his mom, he would have still been a slave building pod racers.
Yeah.
So he probably feels a little bit of like, the Jedi saved my life. I kind of owe it to them to just play along with their bullshit, even though I'm not a huge fan of it.
Yeah, he's got a life debt to Obi-Wan.
He's life debt.
But I guess what I wanted to say about Ahsoka, which I felt like one of the heaviest things ever was her walking away from the Jedi. But even distancing herself from the Jedi, I don't feel like she let go of it. She was still kind of on that fringe. She was still using her lightsabers, trying to lay low, but she got right back into it in this last season with Anakin and Obi-Wan fairly seamlessly. She didn't have to agree with everything, but she was right there back in the thick of it. And I feel like by the end of the 7th season, she was finally able to just let go. She let go of her fucking lightsaber and was finally just like, you know what? I'm done. This, I distanced myself for good reason. Everybody fucking died. Now I'm not only gonna distance myself, but I'm just over it. Like just a release of those. What?
I am curious though if we're going to be getting storylines in this gap between Clone Wars and Rebels. I suspect we are. And I'm curious of how much letting go she did. Because when she left her lightsabers at the end, I pictured that as Anakin tweaked and made those for her. And she's ridding herself of the attachment of Anakin because of what happened.
Oh, no, it's a good point. I forgot he gave those to her.
The blue ones, yeah.
Yeah. No, it's a very good point. No, I forgot about that. And that's even more so just letting it go. Like she can't go forward and be who she wants to be with these things in her hands. Like she can't do it.
Yeah.
No, that's a good point.
It's got some dark side stain on it.
Well, and also, you know, it makes sense because in the Ahsoka book, she heals the Inquisitor lightsabers at the end, and they're white. So that she instead of receiving lightsabers from the fucking evil Emperor douchebag himself, Anakin Douchewalker, she is able to heal the hate that broke the crystals, which is it's a nice kind of send off.
It's a beautiful send off.
Okay, maybe. You know, I'm
ready for it.
It's gotta be Revan, man.
You look in pain.
It's gotta be Revan. It's really gotta be Revan. It's so cool that it's almost the equal opposite, where instead of in the Clone Wars the Jedi going to war and that's their downfall, it was like the opposite. They were all standing by doing absolutely nothing, and Revan's like, dude, the galaxy needs us, and we're standing here picking our noses on Dantooine, just saying we're better than everybody and we're smart. Let's go and fucking make a difference. And I mean, from a certain point of view, he saved the galaxy falling to the dark side, and it's like how crazy poetic is that? Like,
yeah.
I just noticed you renamed your thing Sand.
I came back and yours was the illustrious Mopar, so I just was like, I need to rename mine.
Anakin's face is so mad that you named your thing Sand.
Please watch our live streams.
Please watch it. I do want to give a shout out to Bane, because that was my kind of my fourth in line, possibly taking over for Revan. It's just cool to see the dark side point of view, that, you know, you almost feel bad for Bane. He gets picked up, and it's more of a military thing between the Republic and the Sith at that time, not a good versus bad.
Yeah.
And obviously you get into the deep of it, and, you know, the Sith are kind of fucking evil, but
I just wish they would explore that more. Like that was our big letdown with Battlefront 2, besides the game sucking when it launched, was just like, you told us we were going to have a bad guy storyline and see the heart of the Empire and hear from a soldier on the front line of, you know, the Imperial Commandos or whatever the hell they're called. And she turns to the rebels like in a second after you start the thing. But I would like to hear, not in a game or novel from 2003, like a dark side storyline from a different point of view, that it's not just blanket bad guy stuff. Like, I want to get in those people's heads and like see what they're doing. That's where I think, you know, the clones coping with the Empire and how they fall in line with this new regime. I think that would be really interesting.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Do it, Filoni.
Hire
me. I'll work for free. Hire me.
I'll just pay me. That's all. Good day, Galaxy. Thank you guys for tuning in. We're going to rock some Battlefront for May 4th.
Hell yeah.
Hopefully we enjoy it. I hope you enjoy it.
I'll definitely enjoy it.
So,
that's a crush. Bro, your picture frame has a little bit of Endor on it, or whatever that is in the background. There's like a slight corner. Is that a mirror or a picture?
This thing?
No, the other side.
That? Oh.
No, the other side.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. It's got like Endor outline.
It's a blue mirror. It's got a blue edge, so the dark.
Is your cat in front of your face right now too?
Yeah, he's jumping around. I don't know what the hell. We got to end this shit.
It's all over. May the 4th be with you all.
Thank you guys for tuning in. Appreciate it.
Fuck around.